Welcome back everybody to macro_action. Today, simple question. Can you do photography if you're colorblind? First off, how do you know if you're colorblind? I knew very early when I was about 6 years old, maybe 4, I don't even know how old I was. I colored in a cow green and the grass brown, and my teacher asked me why I was doing that. And that's when I realised I was colourblind. It's plagued me quite a lot through my life. I used to work in an arcade when I was younger, and I used to fix the machines. So something like wiring a plug was fine. But when it came to the control panels or a wiring loom for the board or anything like that, I don't know if you know this, but say it's a control panel, you get sometimes around over 50 wires go into this, and they all have, obviously you have your base colors, and then you start branching out into other colors, and then after that they start putting lines on it of different colors, and then to separate even more they put dots on them, so you can have many different colors like pinks, whites, blues, browns, whatever. They're all mixed in, and they're all separated along the wire, so you can see what the difference. If you're able to see color normally, these colors, bang, you can just see them straight away. But the bang is what I did to many machines, blowing them up when I couldn't see the colors properly. So what I used to do is I'd ask my colleagues, like, just to check my colors as I was going along. I wanted to be an electrician when I was younger, and I also wanted to join the RAF. Both of those jobs way out. To make you understand what colour blindness is, I always explain it to people like dyslexia. It's not that I don't see colour, it's just that when I see colour, it's normally quite bland, the colour I see, and I don't see colour the same way as you see it. It would be not a mix of colours. I kind of see the wrong colour sometimes, but I also just don't see it how you see it. Whereas you see purple, I'll just see that as maybe blue. Where you see brown, I could see that as red. I'm quite high on how colourblind I am, basically. If you was to put it from 1 to 10, I'd probably be about 9. I get almost every colour. I can get almost every colour mixed up. I can get whites mixed up with pinks, mixed up with reds, reds mixed up with browns, browns mixed up with greens, greens mixed up with blues. The list goes on. It's kind of infinite and endless depending on how much light I've got. The lower the light, the harder it is for me to differentiate between colours. Bold colours are quite easy, like red, blue, white. Those colours there, they're very easy. Yellow I could probably see easily amongst those. But now when you come to shades, that's where I have problems. Like creams I could get mixed up with greys. Greys I could get mixed up. The list is endless. I'm not really going to go through it. It's just crazy endless. To give you an idea of how badly it can affect you, I once went for a job with London Underground, and I passed with flying colours, to be honest. I was supposed to have done homework with it. They send you off to do homework, and I never did any, and I still passed really easily. And then you have the medical last, and I don't know if you've ever seen a colourblind test, but it's with dots, coloured dots, and you have numbers in it. If you can see properly, you can see it instantaneously. First question he asked me, I saw it straight away. Second question he asked me, he said, can you see this number? And I said, as soon as I said, he then flipped about 20 pages through, and he said, what number's that? And I went, 73. And he went, you know you're colourblind, right? And he knew from three tests, 3 pages. First one I got correct, second one I said and the third one I got wrong. And from that he knew I was colourblind. And I just said, it's held me back too many times in my life. And he said, you know what? He goes, I rate you for doing that in a way, but at the end of the day we can't give you a job, because I don't know if you've ever seen a London Underground map, but it's full of colours that I just don't see. And it's not just for that, it's for when they have evacuations and things like that, all the colours you need to be able to see and stuff like that. So I understand it. But as a person that doesn't see colour very well, it's like a disability when it comes to those kind of things. So it's not very nice to have to deal with through your life. So has it affected my life? Yes, quite a lot. Around about 10 years ago, maybe a little bit more, I picked up a camera and I fell in love with photography. Um, Obviously, unless you do straight up black and white photography, colours affect photography a lot. In the colours, I forgot to say this, but I did say shades, but even black and white photography is affected by my colour blindness because I don't see the shades of colours that you can see. So even if I wanted to do straight up black and white photography, I just wouldn't even be able to get the grading of the shades right on that. So it's crazy how it affects me. I weirdly started with photography with kind of nightscapes. I'm not going to say astrophotography because it was more. I tried the astrophotography, but I think I preferred a bit of landscape with the sky as the background. So I just was trying to find like the Milky Way with certain shots and just stars and just have a nice foreground with a nice starry background. So that was more what I was into. It wasn't really astrophotography. That lasted maybe a year or two, and then I moved. You know, with photography, you just move through genres, and I kind of went a little bit into landscapes. But then I realised I really liked nightscape photography, which is more cityscapes and things like that. So I got well into that for a bit, and then I moved on again, as you do. I think that was down to not enough variety for me. I needed to be able to find new subjects, new areas. I didn't live in London at the time. I'd moved away, so it was. I could have suppose done Cambridge, but I knew London a bit more, and I just didn't have time to do the stuff in London. So it kind of moved on, and as everybody does in photography, you move into a bit of wildlife. Everybody at some point will try and take a picture of an animal or whatever, and funnily enough, you will try and take a picture of a bird. Um, People love birds. It's There's a lot of twitchers, which are people that don't take pictures of birds, but they're into finding new birds. So it's quite a big community. So even if you're not into the twitching side of it, you'll take pictures to try and get the crispest shot of a bird. But as you guys know me, I'm into action, and that quickly became to get the sharpest action shots I possibly could with birds, and then that kind of moved into mammals and so on and so forth. So you end up becoming a wildlife photographer, not just a birding photographer. But then I took a couple of pictures of insects, and then that quickly moved into trying to get insects in flight. And from there, I kind of never looked back. I was always kind of hooked on the insects in flight. I've told you guys this before, but if you're new to this channel, I am scared of insects. So I had to overcome the scared side, and I had to learn new techniques to try and get the insects in flight. With the birds, I had quite a lot of people telling me you oversaturate, you make your colours luminous rather than just oversaturating. They were becoming luminous, they were the wrong. I was making the colours wrong sometimes, quite a lot. I'll try and put some pictures up for you to show you how badly I was missing the mark. I didn't understand white balance. I still don't really understand white balance, but I learned ways around it. But so when I took up the insect photography, obviously insects have just as many colours, if not more, than birds. I've been asked a million times to do wedding shoots or portrait shoots and whatever. I haven't got the confidence to do it. When you have a disability of any kind, if somebody asks you to do something of that nature where your disability could come into question, you could either face it head on and like, I'm going to do this. I'm not that kind of person. I shy away from what I don't think I'm good at. And when I find something I like, I go way into it. So yeah, weddings and portraits are out. From the birds, I had to learn to tone down the way I shot. So I was having to draw the colors out of things because I realized I was way oversaturating stuff. And I'll admit, I still oversaturate stuff. But you know what? Over this time, I realized photography is art, and it's an interpretation of what I see. I shouldn't really care what other people see. I It's nice to care, but you shouldn't. You shouldn't really care what other people see. This is your interpretation of what you're showing the world. And I love that color. I love that punch. And I don't see that punch. And in order for me to see that punch, I have to punch up the saturation. And over time, I learned to make that better for you and better for me. So I still oversaturate my stuff, but now I'm getting compliments on my photos because of the way I color things. And you know how much of a win that is for a colorblind person, for a normal vision person to be saying, wow, I love those colors. Wow, that's spectacular. That is just amazing for me to hear. And I learned to do that by, I'm going to give you a tip for anyone that's colorblind. Just use the tools that are there. I use Photoshop, but I don't use it to do Photoshoppy things. It was just the easiest interface for me to use because as I opened it, it was the same as I used to operate JPEGs. So that's why I use Photoshop. All I do is go into the color module. I'll try and put this on screen for you somewhere. I go to daylight, click the daylight. It flips all my colors for me into daylight. I saturate to the level I want to saturate to, and then what I do is I drag the temperature bar down towards the blue until it looks natural to my eye. I don't know if it actually looks natural to everyone else, but I do it so that it's a naturally saturated looking image. So it looks natural, but it looks saturated at the same time. So I don't know what you guys actually really think now I'm telling you this, or what you thought before of my images, but I do them so that it looks like that to my eye. And some people like it, but you are obviously always going to get people that don't like your work, regardless of whether you're colorblind or not. And you know what? What I've done with that is, at first, obviously, I took the criticisms and I toned down what I was doing. Now I kind of run with it and I use it to my own advantage. And I did take the criticism and say, right, I'm going to improve on what I'm doing. But now, if somebody criticizes my work, I just think, you know what, it's art. Beauty is in the eye of the beholder. You don't like it, I'll move on to somebody that does like it. And even if somebody doesn't like, even if nobody likes it, I like it. So that's what I'm more on now. And I don't really care what people say. I take the criticism, but does it affect what I do anymore? No. In conclusion, does colour blindness affect what I do? Yes. Of course it does. Did it hinder me? Yes, most definitely. Does it hinder me now? Yes, it still hinders me now. But I've just had to learn to work around it. Does it make my end result worse? Beauty is in the eye of the beholder. So I am the eye. I am beholding. I am looking. I am liking. Other people like it. So my end results speak for themselves. I've had to overcome things to deal with it, but I love what I do now. I love what it looks like. I'm happy. Other people are happy. What can I say? For anybody that has got a disability in photography or any disability, all I can say is, you know that saying, whatever doesn't kill you only makes you stronger. Just use that and fight back with that. You're not dead. Just help yourself to overcome whatever is getting you down and just move on and just love what you're doing. I'm going to take this opportunity to thank everybody that likes, shares and subscribes to me. I don't say it often enough. I just say like, share, subscribe. Thank you for liking, sharing, commenting, subscribing on everything I do. It helps the channel when you do this, and I'm just so overwhelmed with all your help. Thank you very much, and I'll see you on the next one.